Again, I don't like to repeat commands.
And yet, he does. I'm Dr. Orion, a boarded veterinary behavior specialist and a veterinarian. I was asked in the comments to review a video by Jason Corey and his Cane Corso, or Cane Corso? Cane Corso? I'm gonna say Cane Corso. Let's watch.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Jason Corey here. I got Joey Justice and Bruce Wayne, and Joey Justice has a massive prey drive.
I love the names, although Marvel is so much better than DC.
Neither one of these guys have done anything today. A lot of people have an issue when they take their dogs out, they don't behave. So I'm just gonna do some leash work with them. You don't need a prong collar.
True, you don't need a prong collar because it's ineffective and it's even abusive. Don't tell yourself that if you use it correctly, it's not gonna harm the dog, because the reason that you're using a prong collar and not using a harness or a flat collar or any other tool is because you know that the prong collar is gonna hurt.
Don't use a prong collar or an e-collar unless you fully understand how to use it, because it's a communication device.
An e-collar, you mean a shock collar, and a prong collar, sometimes also called pinch collar. Both of these tools are not communication tools. If all you wanted was to communicate with the dog, there are so many different ways to do it without causing pain. Both of the tools that he mentioned were meant to cause pain.
Used the wrong way, you are no longer communicating with your dog and you're punishing your dog.
You're always punishing your dog if this is what you're using.
If you have a dog with a high prey drive, that's crazy. He just yawned.
By the way, if you see what I'm seeing, the dog is wearing prong collar, so we'll see if he's actually taking it off. I guess he needs to communicate with the dog all the time, so he wears the prong. As far as yawning goes, yes, sometimes a yawn is just a yawn, but many other times it can actually be a sign of stress. So if we see that the dog is yawning a lot throughout this video, it means that the dog is stressed and not that he's tired or that he's releasing energy.
He's trying to release that energy. He's done nothing yet today. It's early in the morning still. He is ready to go.
Let's see what that means.
So if you have a dog like Justice, tons of energy, high prey drive, and you just want to take them for a walk, do some leash drills around the house with them, in your yard, in your house, before you actually bring them into public, before you actually take them on the walk, because you're setting yourself up for success and your dog.
100% correct. Set yourself for success so you don't get frustrated out there and then the dog is kind of like feeding off your stress and your frustration, and set the dog for success. Don't make it too hard right out of the gate. Training should be done in most cases in baby steps. If the first thing that you do, and sadly it seems like a lot of other dog trainers love doing it to prove how their methods work so fast but actually are just doing the opposite, start by not exposing your dog to whatever the trigger is and start the training in an environment that you can control without many distractions and with the fact that the dog learns what he's actually supposed to be doing and not just being punished for doing the wrong thing. I mean, even if you do believe that punishment is an important part of training, wouldn't you also like to know when you're doing the right thing and not just when you're doing the wrong thing, so you can actually continue doing what's right? And that's true for training as well, in dogs and cats and any other animal.
So I'm going to do some drills with them and just kind of explain what I'm doing to help you guys out. Bruce, Justice, heel. So I always have Bruce on the outside and Justice on the inside. One big challenge I've always had, look at that, see? Perfect heel work. I turn, they stop right where they need to.
That's actually pretty nice, pretty impressive. Do we really need to have dogs walk in a heel position? Probably not, unless you're doing competition work. Or unless you have a dog that is very likely to get distracted and pull you. So it's actually better that he stands next to you so you can see when he's starting to move too fast forward, and you can maybe avoid whatever he's lunging or going towards. Not in a scary way though.
Justice will listen to commands for Justice because we got Justice while we had Bruce. Bruce listens to all commands no matter what because we never had that separation like we did with Justice. So he hears a command and he does it. So I'm actually going to work with some of these guys one-on-one too.
Sorry he lost me there. I think I'm gonna rewatch that part later on because I'm not sure what he meant here.
Justice sit, Justice stay. So I'm gonna just now keep him on a stay and I'm gonna walk him around a little bit.
Didn't he say at the beginning of the video that he doesn't need to use the prong collar? Because he's still using it.
And you can just come over here, Kara, really quick. Bruce heel. Good stay, Justice. And I don't like to give my dogs, keep telling them the same command. Good boy, Justice. Good stay. But I'm trying to make sure there's no confusion. And I like what Justice is doing. He's staying as I'm walking Bruce.
Pretty nice. One of the dogs is staying, and not just staying, he keeps his attention on the owner and probably is waiting for the next cue or the next command. I would say that he seems relaxed, but it's hard to say, especially in these dogs that for some stupid, archaic reasons, they keep mutilating their ears and tails and I don't know.
Good boy. Good boy. See if he moves. Tempt him a little bit. Good stay. So now I'm going to do the same.
I'm going to be annoying again. Like 2 seconds ago, he said that he doesn't like repeating the cue or the command over and over again. But he keeps saying it. I mean, the fact that he's saying good before he's saying stay is exactly like giving the command. So basically, he continues telling him to stay over and over again.
But I'm going to leave Bruce on a stay. Good boy. Bruce, stay. And take Justice on a few little drills. And then we're really going to test Justice in his prey drive. Justice heel. Good stay, Bruce. Again, I don't like to repeat commands.
And yet, he does.
But I'm just assuring him he's supposed to be staying.
No, you're repeating the command.
Good boy, Bruce. Good boy, Justice.
You know, I'm all for reward-based training. But kind of like punishment, rewards need to be given at the right time when you're actually rewarding a good behavior. And a reward is also telling the dog that he's doing something good, especially if the dog associates it with something good. So telling the dog, good boy, when he's not actually doing anything, and I'm not talking about the dog that is staying in place, which I would say is also not being rewarded in the right way. But the dog that's standing next to him wasn't even doing anything and he's saying, good boy, what exactly are you rewarding?
And he's staying exactly as I want. Always easier to do out.
Notice, other than the yawning that I mentioned before, notice how many times the dogs are lip licking, which is another sign of stress.
Side turns, right? Always just easier because the dog's not in your way. But you want to really work on inside turns. Inside turns, especially if your dog has a high prey drive, maybe reactive around other dogs. Now you're blocking their vision and kind of refocusing them.
Prey drive and being reactive around the other dogs, it's not the same thing. I'm not sure if this is what he means. I think that's not what he means. But yes, it's important to know both of these things. And also, yes, if you're working with your dog on walking next to you on the heel position, it's also important to work on turning appropriately. You don't want a dog, especially a big dog, to just step on you or bump into you. And again, everyone is going to get confused and stressed and frustrated. So the dog is actually doing a nice job here.
Because you walked in front of them, they're kind of blinded for a second. It just breaks that focus.
Lip lick.
And I'm fine if he sits, he
Lip lick.
lays down. Long as he stays, he can sit there, lay there. I'm cool with that.
Yawn.
Good heel, Justice. Good heel. Now I'm going to switch dogs here again in a second. And then we're going to really distract Justice. Justice, sit. Good boy.
Lip lick.
Stay. Bruce heel. Good stay, buddy.
I'm not trying to be annoying. Well, a little bit annoying. I just want you to notice the lip licking and the yawning and other behaviors that might be associated with stress And I will say that I'm noticing them more and more in this video, meaning that I don't think that these dogs are actually that calm.
Now, when I praise Bruce, it's usually high pitched. Same for Justice, but in certain situations I need to drop my tone because he is so energetic and he very much reacts to my energy.
Yes, dogs do react to the energies of the owners, and many times I will have anxious dogs that are owned by anxious people, but it's not always the owner's fault, so don't worry about it. As far as the energy goes, maybe I just don't know Cane Corsos that well about these dogs. At least right now in this video seem pretty relaxed, energy-wise. Maybe stressed, but not aroused.
So right now, if I praise him with a high-pitched voice, right, Bruce? If I praise him with a high-pitched voice, he's gonna get too excitable. And I don't wanna set him up for success and have him break his stay.
That's actually interesting. I would like to see what happens when he uses a high-pitched voice.
Bruce, stay. Good stay.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, I actually like the fact that he used that tongue clicking noise to get the dog's attention. So, a great way to communicate with the dog. You don't need to use the prong in order to communicate.
I'm gonna grab something for JJ here. Good stay.
Lip licking.
Something. Did you see that little stomp he just did? And his focus?
Yeah, that was the lip lick, and another one, and another one. But that might actually be because of excitement and not stress. The lip licking itself is a displacement behavior. It's not necessarily only stress. Everything matters. The entire situation is important, not just the one specific behavior.
Bruce, stay. Justice, heel.
Oop, the other dog is walking after him because he didn't keep saying stay, or just because he's too excited because there's a treat over there or a toy over there.
See how Bruce started to heel? Bruce, stay. That's a challenge with these two.
That's a challenge with every single dog, because when there's something that they would like to take or eat or are enjoying, kind of like exactly with the prey that they're seeing, they might forget or ignore in a way because there's just a higher value somewhere else.
Bruce didn't do wrong, he just misunderstood.
In a way.
Other times it's just our communication. Our dogs just don't understand what we want from them. So always give a little leeway if it could be a communication breakdown. Heel. Good boy. He really wants that.
Oh, so he's using the toy as a sort of a lure, meaning that if we said starting with small steps, then instead of using something that's moving like an actual prey, he's using something that he knows that the dog like playing with, which is to them kind of like a prey, but because it's not moving by itself, then it's a lower level. So once he conquers, or the dogs conquer that level, then it will be easier to go to the next level of actually maybe being around something that's moving like a prey or another dog, which is good.
So I'm gonna take him off this really quick. Justice, sit. Justice, stay. Okay, let's go. Good boy, Bruce. You can come here too. Good boy, Bruce.
I love it when dogs are enjoying life, don't you?
Justice, okay. We'll let him do a couple of these sprints and we're gonna see how he heals off leash. He can do as you want. Okay, Bruce. First, we're gonna see if I can recall Justice. Justice, okay. Justice, let's go! Good boy, okay. He sat down, he gave me eye contact, I let him have it again. Good boy, you just chill. All right, Carrie, you're gonna follow me now, okay? Justice, let's go. Justice, stay.
The dogs look so much alike that it's really hard for me to remember which one is Justice and which one is Bruce Wayne. I mean, they both look kind of like Batman.
Ready? Justice, heel. Heel.
Now, that's another thing that I noticed that I don't know if you've noticed or not. Do you see how many times this dog is shaking his head? That can be due to also many things. One of them kind of like what I mentioned before, some sort of a displacement behavior that might happen when the dog is stressed or very aroused. Another reason might be something medical, for example, an ear issue, a dental issue, a skin issue, neck pain. But a big one is wearing a prong collar.
Good heel. Good heel. We're gonna walk right past this ball, hopefully. Good heel. Heel.
So again, he keeps saying the command over and over and over and over again. So despite the fact that he's saying that it's not good to repeat that and that he doesn't like repeating it, he repeats it.
Good boy. Heel. Justice heel. Now remind you guys, he's had nothing today. Nothing. He ate and we just came out here. And this dog, he's very young. He has a ton of energy and he's still being very obedient. Just because we do this all the time. This isn't like, if you stop doing this, he's gonna lose this skill because we're always training our dogs. You're either training them in a manner you want them to behave in or inadvertently training them in a manner you don't want them to behave in.
True. Training is not one and done. We need to continue and basically, in a way, remind the dog of the training. And we need to continue being careful of not reinforcing unwanted behaviors. As far as the energy goes, that's actually not an issue in this situation. The fact that he's working with the dog is enrichment. This is great exercise because it doesn't have to be physical exercise. It can be mental exercise.
Because they're always taking cues from us. And all of this stuff is a skill. Socialization is a skill. Leash work is a skill. Recall is a skill. So you always got to be practicing the skill or it's going to start to diminish. You may notice if you stop doing obedience with your dog, they're still obedient, but not as sharp and quick. And it's because they're starting to lose that skill. So no matter how trained your dog is, they're going to benefit so much.
Technically, yes, they're losing the skill, but it's important to understand that it's not like they're forgetting. They're just not motivated doing it anymore. And that's true for any kind of training, with punishment and with rewards and with both.
From obedience work like this. Now, Kara, move to your right because I don't want you to get ran over.
See that?
Okay, Justice. Like he was just ready to go. Like you can see how excited this dude is. Drop.
That's a heavy dog. You don't want that dog to run you over, so good advice.
Exaggerating. And he has a very high prey drive, which is why I'll throw the ball and recall him before he gets to it.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't understand the reasoning, but let's see what he's explaining.
If he takes off after a squirrel, takes off after a rabbit, maybe he could be running towards the road. I need to make sure he's always listening.
Oh, so he's, again, using this as kind of like a moving target, kind of like prey in order to reinforce the recall, even during situations where there's going to be prey or something like that. And yeah, that's a smart idea. That's good.
So I'm going to let him get some of this energy out of him. What's he smelling right now? Come here, Bruce. And we got Bruce who's still injured, trying to heal him up as best as we can.
Okay, overall, not the worst video that I saw. It actually has a lot of good things in it. I still object to using prong collars. They're not a communication tool. Of course, I'm against cropping ears and docking tails and mutilating dogs. There's no good reason to do it. But I will say that doing things in a controlled environment, enriching your dog's life by actually working on training methods, and at least in this video, he didn't seem to harm the dog in any way despite the prong collars. So for me, it's in a way, it's a good video. If you want me to do another video with this trainer that you think is actually a better representative of the way that he usually trained these dogs and might be more aversive, then tell me in the comments down below. Tell me which video the name of the video. Don't write a link because YouTube for some reason erases those links. If you watched this video until this point, then thank you. Thank you so much. It really helps this channel grow and the knowledge to go to other people that are like-minded. Also, you can like and subscribe, it definitely helps. I didn't show you the end of the video because he started showing all kinds of products that he's selling, and I really hate when people plug in their products. By the way, you can buy this on the online store. Also, at the end of the video, he talks about a book or something like that that he's selling regarding raw diets, and I'm really against it. I actually did a video about that, so if you want to watch, check this out.